Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we're going to learn how to turn Google Forms into PDFs and send emails step by step. So suppose you're an event organizing company and you have organized a competition. For that, you have released a form with the help of Google Form and you want that anytime a form is submitted, that form should be converted into a PDF file. And you also want to send emails to all of your contestants with the attachment of that PDF file. To do this automation process, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. In this process, my trigger application is going to be Google Forms and my action applications are going to be Google Docs, Google Drive and Gmail. To learn how to do this automation process, let's move on to my screen. In this video, we are going to learn how to turn Google Forms into PDFs and send emails. For instance, you are an event company who is organizing a competition. For that, you have released a participation form with the help of Google Forms. And you want that every time a form is submitted on your Google Form, automatically that Google Form should be turned into a PDF file and then an email should be forwarded with the attachment of that PDF file. For that, we are going to use Pabbly. Now, what we are going to do is we have to open Pabbly page and we have to sign into our account. If you are a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. I'm going to click on the sign in button. And after signing into your account, you can see this page in front of you in which you have to select Pabbly Connect. Click on Access Now. After opening Pabbly Connect, we have to create a workflow. For that, we have to click on this top right corner button, Create Workflow. After that, you are able to see this dialog box in front of you which is asking for a name for your workflow. For instance, I'm going to name my workflow as Google Form into PDFs and send emails. Now what we have to do is we have to select a folder in which we want to save our workflow in. So I'm going to select Gmail as my folder. Now next what we have to do is we have to click on this button Create. Now you can see as our workflow has been created in the name of Google Forms into PDFs and send emails, and also there are two windows that says trigger and action. These are the two most very important steps of our automation process. Trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means our action is response towards our trigger. In an automation process there is only one trigger whereas there can be multiple action steps. Now we are going to set up our trigger event and trigger application. As I've already told you in the beginning that a trigger application is going to be Google Forms. So we're going to select Google Forms. After setting up our trigger application, we have to set up our trigger event. Our trigger event is going to be new response received. That means every time a new response is received in our Google Forms, automatically Pabbly Connect will capture it. So now after clicking on Connect, you can see Pabbly Connect has provided you with a webhook URL. You have to follow the steps given here below to connect your Google Forms with Pabbly Connect. For that, what we are going to do is we are going to go back to our Google Forms. Now as you can see over here, this is the form that I've created with the help of Google Forms. Now we are going to connect our Pabbly account with the form that we have created. For that we have to click on Responses. After clicking on Responses, we have to select Link to Sheets. Now you can see a dialog box in front of you in which you have to create a new spreadsheet that will collect all the data or all the responses that has been submitted with the help of the form that you have created. Now what we are going to do is we are going to click on Create. Now as you can see, this is the spreadsheet that has been created with the help of our Google form. Now every time anyone fills the form and submits it, automatically all the details will be filled in this spreadsheet. So now what we are going to do is we are going to connect our Pabbly account with this spreadsheet so that every time a response is captured in this spreadsheet, automatically our Pabbly is going to capture the response. For that we have to open the spreadsheet. Click on this option Extensions, then click on Add-ons and Get Add-ons. A window will appear in front of you in which you have to search Pabbly. As you can see, there are two options in front of you in which you have to select Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Now you have to open this option. So I've already installed Pabbly Connect Webhooks. If you have not installed it, please install it so that you can connect your Google spreadsheet with Pabbly. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to extensions, and as you can see, there is an option given over here that says Pabbly Connect Webhooks. We are going to click on it, and after that we have to choose Initial Setup. Now after choosing Initial Setup, a dialog box has appeared in front of you and it is asking for a webhook URL and a trigger column. For webhook URL, we have to go back to our Pabbly account and we have to copy this unique webhook URL that Pabbly has provided us. We are going to copy it and we are going to paste it right over here. After that, we have to select our trigger column. As it says over here, the trigger column will be a final column on which if the data is added. That means in the spreadsheet, the final column in which the data will be added is going to be our trigger column. So on this spreadsheet right over here, the final data column is column E. So we are going to type in column E and then we are going to click on submit. Now after clicking on submit, we have to go back to extensions, and remember the step that I'm going to do next is a very important step. We have to again click on Pabbly Connect webhooks and then click on send on event. Now after clicking on send on events, as you can see, there is a tick mark in front of it. This is a very important step because that every time any response is captured in this Google Sheet, all the responses will be automatically forwarded into our Pabbly Connect account. So now what we are going to do is we are going to go back to our Pabbly account and see whether this Google spreadsheet has been connected to it or not. And as you can see over here, it is saying waiting for webhook response, which means that it is waiting for the response to be submitted. So now what we are going to do is we are going to submit a dummy response with the help of the form that we have created. For that, we have to go back to the form that we have created, click on send, click on this option right over here, and then we have to copy this link. After that, open it into a new tab. Now as you can see, this is the form that I have created with the help of Google Forms. I'm going to fill in some dummy details and submit this form. For that, I'm going to write in name as, I'm going to write in some dummy details. As for name, I'm going to write dummy user. For email, I've written this email address. For phone number, I'm going to type in a dummy phone number. And for the date of registration, I'm going to select a date, and then we are going to submit the form. After submitting this form, we are going to check whether Pabbly Connect has captured the response successfully or not. We are going to go back to our Pabbly account. And yes, as you can see over here, that Pabbly has successfully captured the response that has been submitted. So this means that we have successfully connected Google Forms with Pabbly. So next what we are going to do is we have to set up our action step. As I've already told you in the beginning that our action application is going to be Google Docs. I'm going to select Google Docs. After selecting my action application, we have to select our action event. For action event, we have to choose create document from template. We have to click on it. I've already created a template with the help of Google Docs, and what we want is we want to convert this template into a document. So what we are going to do next is we are going to go back to our Pabbly account and then we will click on connect. After that, a dialog box has appeared in front of you which is asking for a connection. I want to add a new connection, and if you already have an existing connection, you can choose this option right over here. After clicking on add new connection, we will sign into a Google account in which a Google template is saved. So we are going to go back to our Pabbly and we will sign into a Google account. A window will appear in front of you, then we have to click on allow as this is a safe process. As you can see, our Google account is successfully connected. Now what it is asking for is the template document, which means this is a template that I've created and it is asking for that template. I have named this template as confirmation letter. So I'm going to choose my template as confirmation letter. Now for the next step, it is asking for the new document's name. That means that every time a new document is created, automatically a new name will be generated for that document. For that, I'm going to map the data from the Google Form submission. So what I want is that every time a new document is generated, the name of the document should start with the contestant's names. For that, I'm going to map the data from the response that has been submitted. For that, click over here, select Google Form new response received, and from here you have to choose the name of the response. So the name over here is dummy. I'm going to choose this over here. So I have mapped the data over here. That means every time a new response is submitted, automatically the name of this document is going to start with the new responder's name. So after mapping the name, I will type in hyphen and then I want confirmation letter to be written in front of it. Now every time a new document will be created, the name of the document will start with the responder's name and confirmation letter right next to it. Now next what it is asking for is new document's location. For that, we have to select the location in which we want to save all our documents in. So I have created a folder with the name of participation letters in my Google Drive. So I'm going to select participation letters because I want all my documents to be saved in this location. So after this step, it is asking for email, date of registration and name. If I go back to my template, you can see that I have created variables for email, date of registration and name. That means that every time the form is submitted, the details of the respondent will be automatically updated over here. For that, we have to map the data from the response that has been received. So we're going to click on over here and we have to map the data for the email. So I'm going to map it by selecting the email address. After that, for the date of registration, I'm again going to map the data. As you can see, this is the date of registration. I'm going to choose this. Next is the name. For that, I'm going to again map the data. So I've completed these steps by mapping the data so that every time a new document will be created, automatically, according to the response submitted, all of these data will be mentioned in our template. So now what we are going to do is, we are going to click on Save and Send Test Request. As you can see over here that we have successfully connected our Google Docs with Pabbly. To check whether our connection is completed or not, we will go back to our Google Drive. And yes, as you can see over here, the document has been created. I'm going to open this document and check whether the variables are changed or not. And yes, we have successfully created this document. Now what we are going to do is we're going to go back to our Google form and we will add another action step. As I've already told you in the intro that our next action application is going to be Google Drive. Now we will choose our action event. Our action event is going to be share a file with anyone. We are choosing this action event because if we go back to the document, you can see over here in the top right corner, it says private to only me. That means this document is just private to only me. I am the only person who has the access of this document. So I can't share this document with or anyone else can't access or anyone else can't have the access of this document. For that, we are creating this action event to share this file with anyone so anyone can have the access of that document. So now I'm going to click on Connect. As you can see over here, a window has appeared in front of us on which I'll choose Add New Connection, but if you have an existing connection, you can choose this option. Then I have to click on Sign in with Google. After that, another window has appeared in front of you on which you have to click Allow, as this is a very safe process. So I have successfully connected my Google Drive with Pabbly. So now it is asking for a file ID. As in my action step right over here, I got my document ID. That's why I'm not going to choose any of the IDs from here. Instead, I'm going to map the data from my first action step. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to turn on this bracket right over here. And now what I have to do is, I have to map the data from my previous action step. For that, I'm going to click on this Google Docs Create Document from Template option. And right over here, you can see it is saying document ID. So now I'm going to map this ID. So once I have mapped the file ID, I'm going to click on Save and Send Test Request. Now as you can see that our drive permission is with anyone with the link. That means anyone can access our file with the help of a link. To check whether Pabbly Connect has successfully worked or not, we are going to go back to our document, and in the top right corner you can see that it is written anyone with the link, which means that now anyone can have the access of this document with the help of a link. Now what we will do is we will set up another action step in which we are going to send emails to all our respondents. Now our action application is going to be Gmail. And now our action event is going to be send an email. After choosing our action application, we will click on Connect. Now a new window has appeared in front of you in which you will choose Add New Connection, but if you have an existing connection, you can select this option right over here. Now I am going to click on Connect with Gmail. Now after that, another window will appear in front of you in which you have to click Allow, as it is a safe process. Our authorization has been successfully done. Now what we are going to do is we will fill in some details or map the data right over here. Now the next step that we need to follow is it is asking for recipients' email addresses. So what we are going to do is we are going to map the data from the response that has been submitted in Google Forms. So I am going to choose the email address of the user. So as it is dummy user, I am going to map the data. So next what it is asking for is the sender's name, and in my case the sender's name is KK Events. So I'm going to type in that, and next it is asking for the email subject. We have to write the subject of the email that we are going to send. For that, confirmation letter for your participation in the competition. This is the subject that I have chosen for my mail. You can write whatever subject you want in your email to be. Now next what it is asking for is email content. So we are going to write the main body of our email. So this is the mail that I want to send to all of my contestants with the attached mail. It says dear with the name that I've mapped, that every time a new response has been captured, automatically the name will be updated. We are extremely delighted that you are interested to take part in the event that we are going to organize. Please find your confirmation letter attached to this mail. Thanks, regards, KK Events. This is the content body that I want in my mail. Now next it is asking for the file name. So I'm going to give the name of my file as firstly the name of the contestant and then hyphen confirmation letter. Now next I will upload the file that I want to attach with this mail. For that I will click over here and I'm going to map the data from my previous step that was in my Google Drive. As I want my file to be in PDF form, so I'm going to choose this option right over here, so that every time an attached document will be forwarded with this mail, it will be in a PDF form. Now what we are going to do is we will click on save and send test request. After that it is coming response received and it is saying as send, which means that the mail is successfully now forwarded. For that we are going to go to our mail and check whether we have received the mail with the attached PDF or not. And yes, as you can see right over here that we have successfully received the mail with the attached PDF. That means we have completed our process successfully. So now what we are going to do is we are going to send another response with the help of the form that we have created. So this is the form that I have created. Now I'm going to fill in some details. So now I'm going to fill in some details. Demo user. I'll type a dummy email address. For email, I have selected an email address. For phone number, we're going to write in a phone number. And for the date, I will select a date. Now I'm going to submit the form. Now after submitting the form, we are going to check whether we have received the mail or not. Now yes, as you can see that I have received the mail with the attached document. Let us check all the details. It says demo user with the date and the name, which means that our automation process is successful. Now we are going to sum up the workflow that we have created. Firstly, our trigger application is Google Forms and our trigger event is new response received. That means every time a form is submitted on our Google Forms, Pabbly will automatically catch the response. And next in our action step, our action application is going to be Google Doc and our action event is create document from template. That means the template that we have created with the help of Pabbly, it will be converted into a document. And for the next action step, our action application is Google Drive and our action event is share a file with anyone. In our Google Drive, our file was firstly only accessible to me, but now after creating this action step, this file will be accessible to everyone with the help of the link. Now our last action step is going to be sending emails to everyone with the help of Gmail, and it will also have the attached PDF file with it. So this was the full summary of our workflow.